Okay, chillin'. Do you just want to look at bots specifically?
No, I mean not in general. I mean,
Okay. I mean, in general.
yeah. I mean, yeah. In general, I'm down to look at the game.
Well, I mean, I know for a fact that I wanted to talk about the level 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we don't need to. Here, I'll play it again. Right? We are fighting for level 2, right? We are. That's fine, but we don't need to. Xana doesn't need to walk wherever she's walking towards, right?
Yeah.
It's just not
He's
necessary, right? He can just walk into this bush if he wants to drop aggro, right? And then right here, he's here right now, and then MF has to back off, right? So she gets to walk up for free. So in this case, you're too far back now, right? You want to be over like here, like parallel to Sarah. And then on this minion, you're hitting 2, right?
mm-hmm.
So we should be up here because there's a random minion here and a random minion here, right? And then look where you are when you hit 2, right?
Yeah,
So how much distance do you have to cover? Like the
quite a
circle's
bit.
quite a bit. So imagine right now if you walked up, because it's so broken. You know what I mean? She's dead, or she doesn't even get to play the lane because she didn't get level 2 prio. Right? Game's like
No, yeah.
over. Or even that, right? Even if she does respect you and she backs off, then you still take the W. It's still a W either way for you because they have to back off and they have to, and you deny them like um gold and exp potentially, right?
Yeah. I mean, is it not like is this not a W? Like it could have been more, you're saying? Like it could have been.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Like that's the difference between, being good and being better, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
No, yeah.
Do you see it now? We should be like here right now. And then they would either be all the way back here, and if they are, right, we don't need to hit. We just stand up here. We force them back. They don't get to take this EXP. Or at least this one, maybe. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they're in Africa. Right? It's a W for you either way, because now you're up gold and now you're up EXP too. But yeah, it's their fault for it's like the difference between it's just like a result oriented way of playing this, right? Where it's like, oh, like we chunk them to 1 HP. It wasn't because you played well, it was because they played bad, which is
Yeah.
two
No, I
different
get
things.
you. Mm-hmm. I mean, giving ourselves more options to do well is always a good thing, you know?
Yeah, or just playing to the best that like you can.
Yeah.
You know the echo is up, so that means we ward here. That's fine. We could use this time to like scope if we have a ward, right? We don't have a ward. That's fine. I mean, it's a timer that you can walk into enemy jungle, right? You can maybe talk with jungler and be like, hey, like on this wave, which you can communicate like way back here, even before this, right? So 30 seconds, like here, be like, hey, I have control of the wave. See how many times? Like, be like, hey, like, let's go, like, look into their like jungle or something. If you wanted to, if you didn't know where they started, maybe that's an option, right? To do whatever. Because how annoying is it to kill enemy jungle in their jungle? Or if not, you can just walk around, scope whatever's going on, because there's time to. Lissandra's missing, which we ping for. This wave is coming back. It's like how you want to play waves, right? Do you want to be crashing every single like wave under their tower, or do you want to bounce it, right? Like if they're low like this, what if you like had the wave bounce back to you and then you're just mega cringe and you just cancel it back on repeat, so they literally can't stay, and if they walk up they die, so they have to like take the L and go back to base. But
No, it
whereas
makes
if
sense.
we're like
Yeah.
shoving it under their tower, sure we can poke them, but what gives us a better advantage? Probably let it bounce back and just have Seraphine sit right here. And if they like choose not to base, Sarah just perma cancels them and they have to walk all the way back here to like not um get damaged, right?
Yeah.
And then you're just 2-3 waves on top of them by now, right? And EXP too, because you're low, because they made a poor play, level 1. And then we would never be ganked by this, right? Like the thing with ganks is that um even the Karma Callista game, it was like we should win that, right? We just probably
Mhm.
mechanical errors, but like in every instance of wave management, you should either one, avoid the gank entirely, or two, you just win it, even if they gank. That's how you should manipulate your waves. Right, in which this case would have been like we just avoid it entirely by having the just bouncing it when you can. Make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. I felt like this one wasn't like so bad. Like they devoted a lot of resources and it got both of my sums, but
But what could you have? So let's say, for example, right, if we
Mhm.
just, instead of this happening, we bounce this, we shove this wave, and then we bounce it back.
I thought it wasn't going to bounce. Like I thought it wasn't going to.
I mean, it hits their tower, so it's
Yeah, and
guaranteed
then
to
I
come
just
back.
don't. And then I just don't hit the plates. Yeah.
I mean, you like you hit what you can here, and then you just let it come back.
Do I push another wave? I don't think so.
You don't have. It comes back. This comes back guaranteed.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I in game, I don't. I think I just let it come. But you're saying I'm standing just too far forward because I know it. I know it comes back, so I don't have to even be there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It happens a few times, right?
Yeah.
Where like you know it comes back, and so we don't need to be there, right?
Mhm.
They come down, they bail you out. We cancel them, that's fine. He gets free hit. She TPs. Echo gets his stuff topside. Oh, we see the Kha'Zix. We know he's bot side, which we ping it. We see him again. It's warded. On the dragon, we know it. We see him again. Herald is up in a minute. So think about how you want to play this Herald. Right? Do we want to, we have Prio up here. Do we want to send Sarah up there? Good job. And now it's free. We take this for free too. right? So that
No,
was a
they got it.
question of like, which was a question that we should have been asking here, right? Like way before this, like here, like, right? This is what the map looks like. Do we want to be sending Sarah to Herald?
Yeah, I feel like no one knows. Like we sometimes ask those questions, and then it's just like we don't know what the right answer is. And like if we're not sending Sarah to Herald, like what does that mean for us? Like does that mean we're playing for 2v2 dive bot or 3v1 dive bot? Like do you know what I mean? Like we're not
So you always
prepared to
want
commit to
to
one option or the other.
make a mirror play, right? Like if you're not going to contest the Herald on spawn, then you're going to look at
Mhm,
something bot. But if you
mhm.
are going to contest it on spawn, then we need to do something about it. Right? So that's something we're asking
Yeah,
now. And okay, so what's the question? The question is, do Herald spawning in a minute 30. What do we want to do about it? Okay.
yeah.
So
Do
you
we want Seraphine to be up there or me as well?
right. So you see that what does mid have prio? Mid has prio. Does top has prio? Top has prio. Does jungle have prio? Well, he's cleared his camps. So maybe at this point we are gonna shove this next wave, and we can either like swap, or you can just go like one goes top, right? Because if you are
Mm-hmm.
solo farming an entire wave, you should hit 6 before they hit 6, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you should be safe from a dive question mark. You have vision, right? Too. If they 3-man you bought,
Then I just
then
walk
you just
away.
walk away. And then you probably take his
Yeah.
camps if you want to, while he's while we're topside. Right? You just take his camps. All right, this wave is in. Xana's recalled right now. 30 seconds. She walks up here
Yo.
um in about 30 seconds time. That will be right about like nowish. She'll be here in river, right? So this is free. So she could just be here doing whatever, right? She could be helping top shove. She could be helping mid shove. She's here, right? So maybe you just get it without because you know Kha'Zix is top now too, or you knew Kha'Zix was top like a minute ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does that help answer the question?
Yeah, no, it does.
Sure, you get a kill. That's 300 gold, but what if you got Herald? And it's
Yeah.
because,
I mean, true. It's 300 gold minimum for Herald, right? Is without even using it.
yeah. How did she die? You ultied her, right?
No.
Well,
Oh,
if
the
you
second time, yeah, but this time, I think I just walk at her and I auto tech. I think she was She was only level 4.
oh,
Yeah,
well
or
then this
level
wasn't
5.
because she was good. This was because she was bad, right?
Yeah,
So that's not a play we look at.
yeah, you're right. Yeah, the more consistent play is just sending either both of us or Sarah up, or like
Yeah,
at
or
least
you
communicating it,
yeah, and you can even
deciding.
send top bot, right? Because top has
Yeah,
is level 8 versus 2 level 6 champions. I think he can handle himself for like 2 waves.
yeah, with TP, right? So
Yeah.
I thought we talked about it there, did we not?
I think so, but maybe it was later, and it was also like we didn't end up doing anything.
Yeah, because I think I said I have good recall here, and I think Zeno was like, and we just sort of like decided up against it.
Yeah, I don't. That's what I'm saying. Like I feel like the people who make the choices just like don't know when to go, or they, yeah. But it's also
Well,
a team. It's team
and
responsibility.
I think also we're like talking about it like 30 seconds before, and then it's just
Yeah,
like, oh, okay,
Wait,
well, someone's
you
gonna get
should be
fucked
talking
here.
about a minute 30, 2 minutes before it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we all know that. It just doesn't happen.
So have someone set a timer, literally, like a timer. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we just need something in game that just like forces us to have that
Or not a
conversation.
game. Just use your phone,
No, you
right,
could
and have
use
a timer
like
for
anything or computer timer.
6 minutes. You know, set a timer for 6 minutes, and once it goes off, be like, hey, oh, now it's time for me to, you know. I literally had somebody who I coached like literally put a timer, and you can hear it go off on their mic, and they're like, oh, it's time to talk about this.
Well, it's just less you have to think about, I guess, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's like shit that I have to do because like I literally, my brain cannot process that many things at the same time. Like I literally have sticky notes like up behind my desk for like certain decisions in game. Some reminders like that just, I don't know, they're helpful. It's like one less thing you have to think about.
No, exactly. Yeah. I mean, pressing tab is not hard, but
Yeah,
sometimes
but
it
even
is.
then, like sometimes like we'll know it's happening, but like it just like still the
Yep.
conversation doesn't happen. So
No, you're right. Exactly. Someone will bring it up like, "Yo, Rift is in a minute," and then we will just like,
we'll be like, okay, and then we
"Yep."
still are like,
Okay, wait. We're watching this a couple times. What's going on?
If Kha'Zix is not bot side, where is he?
Top side.
Top side. So we go
Yeah.
this knowing that Kha'Zix is here,
Hey,
right?
I wasn't involved in this one. Yeah, I guess so, right?
By deduction, if he's not bot side, then he has to be top side. And if your camps aren't up, therefore he's literally either in river or in his like literally right here, here.
I think we knew he was topside this whole time.
Yeah, so we know that Lissandro's walking into Kha'Zix, right? We should be calming our CC, right? So it's like, you know that Echo has a W. We know that Seaborg has little flippy thingies and like CC in his kit. So if he's gonna flash, you can communicate like, hey, I'm gonna look to flash this and flip her back this way. And then Echo would be like, and then you can ping exactly where she's gonna land. So the Echo guarantees the stun every time, right? Because Echo's putting his stun where he thinks she'll be. So communicate using pings, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah. And
So
I mean,
like,
coordinating ahead of time, like what you
yeah.
want
In
in that
this
respect, like
case,
how to layer CC.
yeah. So like here, right? Even here, like, you know that caused topside. So like while you're finishing Drake, it's like, oh, like, do we sure we want to fight this? Because it's your choice, right? So it's like if it's yes, then Kasani's like, I'm a flash and knock her back, right? Because I have Q. This is Q, right? So like he's
Yeah.
gonna flash over here and he's gonna put her ping this location, right? And then Echo would be like, oh, I gotta put my W in this location, right? I'm gonna flash in 2 seconds, right? And he's gonna count I can flash, cue her backwards, right? Like very quick, calm, right? Like that. And while he's saying it, he pings right here. And then Echo would be like, knows to put his little stun box here.
Yeah.
Right? Or like, sure, she gets I guess it worked out somehow, but you know it's something to come, and we also know that Sion was coming down guaranteed,
No, yeah, we did.
and Rakan was coming up because he walked through the river. And then this is really bad
Yeah.
because Tower is about to die. And you can't even walk up because they might just dive you, but they just leave. We see them go mid. We know this entire thing is warded bot side.
Yeah, this was really my bad.
Yeah, because you know that Rakan's bot and Kha'Zix's bot too. So you 2v3ing this, I don't think you win.
Definitely not.
So it's just something that we can avoid entirely.
Yeah, no, I guess I just wasn't sure if Kha'Zix was there, and
I mean, we saw
about it.
him here. Here. I'll just play it. So here's Kha'Zix, here's Rakan. Sarah walks up.
Wait, was it Kha'Zix?
Yep,
Sorry,
right
the
here.
stream is a little fuzzy. Oh yeah,
So you know he's bot side on pawn clearing this wave.
yeah.
And you know Rakan was with him, and you see him too. He walks this way, so
So let's just have eyes and have
in about
awareness.
2 seconds, I mean, 10 to 15 seconds, he's bot.
Yeah. And then I decide that that's the
And
moment
the
that I
fact that
wanna
he's
walk up.
walking up here to auto this ward tells you that he's coming. Right? Otherwise, he shouldn't be here. But he's safe to walk up here for free because he knows that it's a 2v3. But yeah, like layering like Ashe ult and Sarah ult is important, and the only time that you should be using these ultis is to either like one engage or to cancel MF ult. That's your prime. As Seraphine, that should be your primary focus, to use your ult to cancel MF ult. The reason why she buys like night cloak, the cloak, is because she knows that's the only way she loses the game if she gets canceled off of out of her R. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it does.
And goodbye. We die. Can we avoid that one? Probably.
For sure.
We see Rakan. She ulties the wave. Something's up.
I feel like there wasn't a wave to ult. I just thought maybe she was. Yeah, I mean, for sure something was up. Obviously, now looking at it, hindsight, but
Yeah, I mean, we'll give you a pass on that one.
oh, thanks.
We don't need to die here. Yeah, it could have been avoided. Do we have to watch it again, or do we see that?
No, yeah,
No, he just went too early.
yeah. I mean, the minions. It's literally like one auto.
It's 2 minions and he doesn't die.
Yeah, kind of. What are we doing here?
I think the call was to contest the red buff.
Should we?
That's not my business.
Should we?
I mean, I would never, but
But why?
well, our vision control is really bad. I
Uh
feel like we
huh.
didn't really have top prio.
Uh huh.
And yeah, I mean, those are two really good reasons.
Yeah, and you don't have ult either.
Right. So one of our primary engage tools is down.
Yeah. So in this case, it is 4v3. Right? Because how is Cassante supposed to join this fight? I don't think so.
He's not. No, yeah.
So we just don't take it. We could have left at any time before this, right? Right? Any time. Sure,
Yeah.
we can scope, but we had any time to leave. Especially when you saw them moving here. So we could avoid this by Just being like, oh, do we win a 4v3? The answer is no, so we should probably just leave.
I think we kind of turn it here, but it's still not good.
Do you think it was worth it?
No,
And then now
it's
it's
all of
just
our
an
tempo.
overstay play, right?
Yeah, and we're just. I mean, it's
No,
so
we're just
low.
having fun.
I mean, the outcome was like okay, but like we
But
should
it
be.
ruins our tempo, right?
Yeah, it ruins your
It's just all
tempo for
unnecessary.
Drake,
Yeah.
right? Imagine the amount of time that we had if we just, reset and then take vision control. How are they supposed to walk into Ashe Seraphine? They don't.
Yeah, they have to find flank angle.
And then
That's what I
now
think
it's
half
like
our-
we know Kha'Zix is on the back.
I can barely see. It's like 5 FPS. But
yeah, it's
I know it
horrible.
happens. So
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I think we just had better setup during this. It might have been better. Yeah, I'll play it at 0.5 speed. 0.25. So we know exactly where Kha'Zix is during this entire thing, right?
yeah,
So we should have like Cassante up here, right? And like Renekton over here. Cassandra doesn't need to hit this. Ashe can hit. Or even at this point, we just play inside pit, right? So we go
I was wondering
inside.
if I should be, but I didn't have flash, so I was like worried about it. And like,
Um,
I don't know if my thought was like if we're taking it and like I have to my the biggest thing I have to avoid besides Kha'Zix is like Lissandra engage. So I have to like be out of Lissandra engage range. So I feel like walking down towards the try is good, but that isolates me from my team, right?
yeah, so if we have like Cassante marking or somebody, right? Renekton or
Yeah, yeah,
Cassante marking Kha'Zix,
yeah.
right? Cassante doesn't need to be here. Cassante's right here right now. Renekton's over here. Right? It's just answering the question of like, what is my champion's like? What is the purpose of my champion? So where should I be positioned? Cassante should be here right now. You know?
I think that's what I was thinking that entire fight, right? As Renekton, I was just like, my entire goal is just block this fucking Scion ult and
Yeah.
tank as much as the MF ult as possible.
Yeah, I mean, we have to mark people, right? That's the only way we win is if they like somehow get past us.
Right? So imagine if Cassante is like right here right now. Or like protecting you.
Yeah, and then Lissandra I feel like has a much harder time clawing as well.
Right? So then
This doesn't look bad. Like, where does it go wrong? I guess it's pretty. Oh, okay. It's so bad.
We just the front line gets entirely obliterated by the Scion MF ult.
right? But the purpose, like I guess, like she's trying to like cancel the.
How do we? So like, besides the marking, I guess that kind of spreads us out a little bit more, as if we're marking Kha'Zix like that. But like, do we still get Scion ulted? Do we still get MF ulted? I don't know. Like, someone has to take it, right?
Yeah, I mean, here let's watch.
Like,
I think
how do
the
we win this
idea
one?
is I stay pushed up, Echo Cassante stays wide, Echo stays towards the pit. That way, I'm the only one that get hit by Rakan. We don't all stack right there.
So Renekton tanked the
I-
Scion, right?
Yeah.
Echo and Cassandra are swapped right here. So we're all waiting for Lissandra R. And once Lissandra R goes off, we're also watching for like Rakan. Like you played it like how you could have, but it would have been better if we just had more like time to set up.
Yeah, if Echo didn't get one shot right?
Yeah, because Echo would be further back, swapped with Cassante, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and to be fair, I think Seaborg is positioned to where he should be on probably the majority of champions, but he's playing a tank in this scenario, so
Yeah.
Right, because he doesn't necessarily like do like damage to this Drake. Because we're here at the
No.
same
Is he Q
time.
stacking? Is he stacking his knockup?
yeah,
Or is
I
he using it
guess.
on it?
I can't tell if he used it on Drake or not.
I guess he might be Q stacking.
Still, I think a lot of times we just like start doing Dragon and we just like wait for them to do something rather than like us being the one to pull the trigger. You know what I mean? But I don't know what exactly we should be doing.
I mean, he has Q now, right? So he like a few
Yeah.
seconds ago.
I mean,
so he
he's
can
had
be.
it. Yeah.
He's had it for a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So maybe like in this case, we don't even like start it. We just dance, and then we just have like Echo flank on like MF or something.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I felt. I don't know. Especially because like our front line, like besides Cassante, is really not that tanky and they can't really take the engage.
And then they take the Baron, and then the game's just hard.
Yeah. That was definitely the like deciding fight,
Yeah.
it felt like. Not that we didn't make mistakes before that, but that was like the big one.
Yeah, but like laning phase felt like fine in that game. Like we got advantages, Fork was able to invade, like
Yeah.
it felt fine up until that point, and then that fight just kind of was it.
But even every little thing adds up, right? Like instead of them being like 5K
Yeah.
gold ahead, imagine if you had like more money that fight.
Yeah, no, that's true.
We should get this one. Okay. So we know they recalled. Let's hit this. We have Hawkshot, right? Yes.
Probably, yeah.
Let's scout so that you can help Seraphine ward. Right? We know Lissandra. Okay, we saw nobody here, right? So we should walk up. Okay, we know where they are, so maybe send another one. And then Seraphine can ward here. And she gets to walk up to ward here too. Right? We see this MF. Someone needs to kick her thingy off. What is this called? Edge of Night off. Right? We just hold our ult because the purpose of our ult is to cancel what?
Misfortune ult.
Yes. So then if you were paying attention, you're marking the MF, you're getting rid of her Edge of Night, and then you're ulting her. Right? We missed Seraphinar as well. Like layer CC, like you have a slow, so it's really easy to hit stuff off your slow. So just maybe throw things when it's more guaranteed to hit. Right?
Yeah. Instead of just throwing out my Ash arrow and hoping it hits. Yeah.
Like the thing with so here's what the flow chart, right? The flow chart goes, does my what is the purpose of my skill shot? Okay, that's the general question. Then the next question you ask is throwing my skill shot right here or using my ability accomplish my purpose? If the answer is no, don't throw it, don't use it. And the second, if the answer is yes, then is it going to hit? If it's not going to hit, then you don't throw it. Right? But then the first one was, is it going to, what's the purpose of my skill shot? Cancel MFR.
Right.
Does it
Yeah. I guess I
accomplish
just
that?
didn't
Then it's
know.
no.
Yeah. I guess I just didn't know that Like it was my goal to stop the MFR. Like that was my job, I guess.
I mean, like, who else is gonna stop her R, right? So think about it that way.
Yeah. Fair.
So like,
It's just like, yeah,
like, think about it, right? Like, you have such a great like long range engage, right? So you want to hit it on priority targets, right? Like, for example, let's
Mhm.
say if they have like Sejuani, like, I mean, look, Sion or like Lissandra or um like Sion, right? You don't want to be hitting Sion. So what's the point of throwing Ash ult if you hit Sion? Doesn't really do anything, right? But what
Yeah.
if you landed as an ult on MF, right? So the priority goes like MF, then like Kha'Zix, Rakan, or maybe Lissandra Rakan, and then Sion, right?
Yeah. It felt like if I wasn't, I don't know, like Alstar said before the game started that like I was the primary engage. And I know that's not how we should be playing fights now in retrospect. So it felt like to me, like I should be trying to hit Lissandra Rakan or Kha'Zix, I guess, if he doesn't have Edge of Night. Because it was like, yeah, I mean, I was the primary engage. But we
But
shouldn't have been doing that in the first
the
place.
the
And also,
threat, right? The threat might be greater than using. Does that make sense?
yeah, no, for sure. No, absolutely. I understand that completely. And I also like, yeah, I was just worried that like if I don't shoot my ult at the start of a fight, then it's like I'm just gonna die with it up because their front line, like, I don't know, they take the Ashe ult so well and then we'll never have a chance to use it on MF.
Right? You're marking MF here. You W her. Imagine you're full
Yeah.
HP. They're dead. She gets cancelled, right? She doesn't get to play the game. They die here. I think you just win this fight. Maybe. Right? Like MF ult does so
It's a
much
lot
damage.
closer. Yeah, it's definitely a lot closer.
And then someone's
When did I
marking the
use it
Kha'Zix.
here?
Right? So
Is it up still? No.
yeah, it
It's
is
just
up.
up the entire time.
Yeah, so right now you see that they're going to engage, right? So you can
Yeah.
like communicate with like your team cuz you still have time, right? Marking MF, right? Or even before the game, even before the team fight starts, you're just already telling your team, "Hey, I'm marking MF ult," right?
Mhm.
Here this is like really good, right? Cuz they engage on Echo. Echo has like, R. So, right? We see Kha'Zix. He has Edge of Night. You see him walking around. Imagine if you W ult this, and then like Sarah can ult wherever she chooses,
Yeah.
either here or on MF or MF area, right? Because who's your primary? Like who do you want to be hitting? You want to be hitting like you want to kill MF, and you also want to kill Kha'Zix, right? And then the rest of them are just
Yeah.
like training dummies that do a lot more than training dummies. She gets a quadra when it could have been avoided entirely.
Yeah. No, you're right.
You just W
I
ult her, right?
yeah, I guess I just don't know my job.
Because if
Feels
it's
bad
not
then.
you, who else is it? Right? Then it's
Yeah.
Sarah. But if Sarah doesn't, but that's something you need to like communicate.